Contrary to popular belief, you can still be intimate while remaining abstinent. In this world, it seems like sex is so glorified and so many people are focused on test driving the vehicle before they go and marry people. But honey, if you want to stay true to your morals, true to God's laws, and remain abstinent, you can do that and you can still be abstinent. And if you didn't know, well, today you're going to learn how you can do just that. So let's get into it. First, I'd like to talk off with my experience. My now husband and I, we did not have any type of physical connection while we were courting. We were courting for about 2 years, and then we got married in January of 2023. And yeah, we didn't kiss, we didn't do anything. And I know it sounds a little bizarre to most people, like, what? You didn't kiss him either? You guys didn't even hug? Well, we did hug, but we'll get into that. One way to be intimate while remaining abstinent is setting boundaries and understanding your triggers. So for my husband and I, we didn't have those regular hugs like couples did. You know, those big old bear hugs? We didn't have that. We did the awkward side hug, that brother-sister hug. Like, hey sis, hey bro, how's it going? Just like that. I know it looks a little weird. That's what we had to do, because I know deep down, if I were to give him this ginormous bear hug where my body is compressed on his body's compressed on my body, we're both going to be feeling some type of way. And honey, we did not want to wake any feelings before it's time, okay? But that doesn't mean that we didn't have any physical touch at all. Like, we would hold hands, of course, but there was no kissing, no bear hugs, no caressing, anything else of the sort. Like, it was strictly hold hands, and we didn't even do that much. So yeah, we had to understand our triggers and just be real with ourselves. You also want to set boundaries. Some boundaries you might want to set might be perhaps not talking after a certain time. Everybody knows after a certain time, hormones start to wake up. You don't really care how someone else's day went. You just want things to get a little nasty, if you know what I'm saying. And we don't want that. We want to remain pure. We want to respect this person. We don't want to awaken any feelings again. So if you know it's getting to that point, before that point even happens, have a cutoff time and stick to it. You also might want to set emotional boundaries in the relationship as well. Think about it. A boundary is more so about your limits rather than someone else's actions. An example of an emotional boundary might be you having to physically step away from a situation because you feel a bit overwhelmed or anxious, or you don't feel like you're able to process your thoughts properly, and you don't want to pour that out on someone else in the wrong way. So you might have to remove yourself. Sometimes it could be just simply saying no. Sometimes it's just verbalizing how you feel in a certain moment to someone else so they understand that. Another emotional boundary could be just valuing personal space. I understand you really like this individual, and sometimes as this woman, it's like we constantly want to be around this person, but we need to understand that personal time is vital. This is not your significant other yet. This is just your friend that you're courting to see if you both would be compatible for marriage. But you need to respect each other's personal time. Get some time to yourself to grow, some time to think and make some concrete decisions and not just emotional based decisions. Make sure that he has that time as well. Don't be all up on him, always texting him, always calling him 24/7. Give the man some time to breathe, and take some time to breathe for yourself as well, so you could really think things through. And of course, as a woman, we like to verbalize how things make us feel. If certain situations don't make us feel right, or we don't like how we were treated in certain situations, of course, always speak up. But also learn to pick your battles. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Learn when to be quiet and when to speak up, and that takes time, honestly. Another way to be intimate while remaining abstinent is, okay, I know a lot of you aren't gonna like this one, but chaperoned dates. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. I did chaperone dates with my now husband for 2 years. It was always me, him, and my parents. And when I tell you we would have a blast, now it's not like my parents were literally all up under us. If we turned the corner, they were like right there behind us. No, they gave us some distance and some space. They were watching us from afar. But honestly, just knowing that they were there really just made me not want to do the wrong thing. I'm like, of course I'm not gonna do anything wrong with my parents there, so it will just help me focus and remember why I'm here, to get to know this person, to talk to them more, to get to know them on a deeper level, and nothing more than that. Like, honestly, having my parents there was a big help. And honestly, I don't care who thinks it's silly or who thinks it's childish. It's not that I don't trust necessarily myself or him. I don't trust temptation because I know it's real. When two people who really like each other are alone, like literally anything could happen. And I'd rather have trusted individuals with me. If you don't want it to be your parents, it could be any other couple, but a couple that you know is going to hold you accountable, not some couple that's just going to let you do what you want while they go wander around in the mall or something, leaving you alone. Like, no, they understand your boundaries and they're going to stick to it to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And honestly, I really did like having my parents there because I wanted them to see him in certain situations too that normally I could potentially be blinded by because of my feelings towards him. And I know for me, I'm a very family oriented person, so I would want my significant other to be, you know, comfortable around my family and would want to go out with them on different outings and vice versa. Another thing that can be done is to have intellectual, intentional conversations, you know, really get to know this person on a deeper level. I know sometimes we text each other and I'm like, hey, how's your day going? Oh, it's going good. Cool. Did you see anything new on TV? Like, let's be more intentional. I have an ebook talking about various questions that you want to ask when you're getting to know someone, recording someone. You can check it out on my Instagram. I believe the link is in the bio. I believe it's called Questions to Ask Before Getting Married, but I have a lot of chapters in there with different questions. And I remember during my courting process, I would ask my now husband so many different questions, so many hypothetical situations, because I wanted to understand how his mind was. I would ask him about current events. I would ask him about things pertaining to the Bible, because that's something really deep between the both of us. I would ask him just so I can get an understanding of his knowledge, because honey, I would want the man in my house, I don't know about you, but I want the man in my house to be well-rounded. I want him to be intellectual. I want him to be smart. You could be good looking, but honey, what's going on up here? So we would have those conversations, and I think honestly it would challenge me intellectually too. When he would ask me certain questions about something and I might not have known it, it would make me go back and do my research so that I can go back to him on certain things. So it was really fun doing that. It was just really fun getting to pick at his brain, honestly. I would also suggest doing physical activities to strengthen your bond, like maybe going on hikes together, going on nature walks, maybe doing a project together, or even cooking together. Like, you can do so many things physical with your hands outside of that to strengthen your bond with someone. You guys can play board games, go on a picnic, invite some friends. And another thing that I believe is super attractive that can create a lot of intimacy is simply listening to someone and what they have to say. I cannot tell you the amount of times that my husband remembered the little things about me that I've said or did about something. He might have said, oh, I thought you said you like this, so I got you this. Like, it could be like a little snack or something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you remembered, you know? Just him paying attention to the little things, and vice versa, me paying attention to the little things that he might like, or saying things that might cheer him up, you know, things like that. Even writing a little note of appreciation, or just expressing to this person, thank you so much for being such a kind-hearted friend towards me, not judging me, for accepting me, and I pray that this works out together. You know, just showing that gratitude, listening and understanding, I think that can truly cause a lot of intimacy. If I had $1 for the amount of times I said intimacy throughout this video, and I know it's still like not getting through a lot of people's heads, I bet, but intimacy doesn't have to just mean like sex. Emotional intimacy, I believe, is top tier. I think so many couples in the world today, they have the physical intimacy. They see someone that they like, they get in bed with them, and that's it. All they have is physical intimacy. That's the easy part. But that emotional intimacy, undressing yourself figuratively, becoming vulnerable, and showing another person your imperfections, the things that you don't really like to talk about someone, like truly being transparent, that type of nakedness is different than being literally naked. And I think if we were more intentional with truly getting to know people on that level, then we would have a lot more stable relationships, and we would have a lot more stable households, because people would understand people's true character from the get, and they'd make those decisions before just jumping in bed with them, and we wouldn't have the chaotic communities that we now have. There's a reason why God says to do things the way he does. He knows it. And we would do well to take heed to it if we pay attention to that as well. But a lot of us just like to do our own thing. Lastly, like, that's why praying together is so important. You have to make time for prayer, make time to study in the word together, make time to pray, because that's what's literally going to be the thing that sets this relationship or courtship from everything else. If you want your marriage to truly thrive, you have to make sure that the Most High God is at the center of it. Because if he's at the center, then you guys are always going to meet each other while going to the center. But if he's not at the center, then what are you guys going towards? You have no foundation. God never intended us to be sleeping around with multiple people and thinking, oh, I'll have to test drive this person before I get married to make sure that we're compatible and da-da-da. Like, God didn't intend for this to happen with us, okay? He intended us to have sex with one person and one person alone. And honestly, so what if that person isn't compatible with you initially? You guys learn to make it work. You learn each other. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all the tips that I have for you guys today on how to be intimate while remaining abstinent. Yes, it is possible. I did it. I know a bunch of couples that did it as well, and you can do it too with a bunch of intentionality. I hope this video helps, and drop a comment below so I know and other people can know what are some ways that you guys remained intimate if you remained abstinent until your marriage as well. The more comments, the better. The more tips, the better. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you check out my last video if you haven't. Share it with a friend. Guys, let's get these subscribers out. Let's get more content out. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next. And I'll see you in the next one. Shalom.